Is the film boring, or do you just have ADHD? This is the question that we will be dissecting in today's video. We will be talking about and evaluating the reasons behind why people find certain films boring. Is it because the film is genuinely poorly paced, or is there actually a problem with attention spans of people? Yes, there is. Now, I have a proposition here that may seem a little totalitarian or a little messed up, but here it goes. Something that I believe we should all be doing, especially in this day and age, is taking accountability for our own attention spans before we rush out and label movies as poorly paced or too long. Now, the reason that I'm suggesting this is because I have really bad ADHD that I've had to overcome in my pursuit of expanding my taste in film. I almost forced myself to never blame a movie for me feeling bored because I couldn't be certain that it wasn't because of my fucked up brain. And because I had this diagnosis to go off, every time I did start fidgeting during a movie, I'd just be like, oh well, this is just a me problem, I just have to get over this. And although some may disagree, I see that as a very useful and healthy way to watch movies. It's like you're automatically giving the movie the benefit of the doubt, so there's no risk of you jumping to any conclusions or hastily labelling the film as boring or dull. You're properly lending the film your full attention and you're maximising the possibility of you becoming immersed. And I think every film deserves this kind of focus and commitment to some extent. You sit there, you get all comfortable, you put the movie on and you say to yourself, okay, let's try and make this as best as an experience as it can be. And that's not really a big ask considering how much time and effort and work went into the movie. Now this is where I started to sound a little high and mighty, which is good because I think I do stand above most people in life. So because of this ADHD shit, I've had to take accountability for my own attention span, and I don't feel like anyone else really does. And a lot of the time I get it, you know, most people watch films for entertainment to relax at the end of a hard day's work. But the more critical side of me kind of wants to say, come on, put a bit more effort in here. Like so much fucking work went into this, and I know you can kind of say that about any movie ever, so it's a really tricky one with that. Especially with the YouTube film discourse, one of the last things to ever come up in someone's review is the attention span of the watcher. Attention spans don't seem to be something we criticise anymore, it's just always the film's fault. And I don't really think that's right, because all it really takes is a minimal amount of effort on your part to get yourself invested in the movie. Just overcome these little things in your head that are telling you, oh, this is boring, this isn't moving fast enough, when that's all just bullshit, really. The thing about ADHD is it's one of those things that people get diagnosed with, but I'm pretty sure everyone's got it. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful to people who do have ADHD, but every time I describe the symptoms to someone, they'll just be like, yeah, we all struggle with that, and then I seem like a bit of an arsehole. Regardless, some people put films on, and then the brain says, oh, I'm not really liking this, or I feel a bit fidgety, and that is just something to overcome. See it as almost a challenge, like, no, I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to give this film the proper amount of attention. And that's in large part what I did. Like, with your film taste, you have to expand it out of your comfort zone. 15-year-old me would have fucking hated The Master or like 2001 or Eraserhead, any David Lynch film. I had the most inoffensive, easygoing taste like Avengers and The Dark Knight and shit. And I know I sound like an arsehole, but it really doesn't take much to expand your taste over time. And I'm not going to be like, you need to go and see Eternal Sunshine right now. But it's so easy to do, and overall it's better to be open to a wider range of films because you'll just watch more good movies. Stop letting these personal biases get in the way. That being said, if you do get there and you're enjoying all of this Tarkovsky stuff and Ingmar Bergman, do not then look back at the normies, even though I'm always like criticising the normies, and give them shit for like, oh come on, what, you're watching a Kung Fu Panda 2? Oh, disgusting, because Kung Fu Panda 2 is a fucking awesome movie. Film snobs are a different thing. They start over from the pretentious zone and they can't branch out into like conventional movies, and they actually need to do that. At the end of the day, you should only be worried about good filmmaking. You shouldn't be like, oh well, it's not A24 so it can fuck off. Like, no, it's not the way to go. When people write off horror films or the action movie blockbuster genre, that's just as silly as writing off like black and white French films. Like, just be open to fucking everything. But yeah, if your default thing is the more conventional kind of films, then it most likely is an attention span related issue that's stopping you from branching out into the weirder stuff. With the film snobs, it's more so like a self-deluded thing, like, oh no, I just can't stomach an Indiana Jones film. Oh, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, the silly action. But both of you do piss me off, like normies and film snobs, just both of them, they both say stupid shit about each other. It's annoying. Harkening back to the original point, it is just a very stupid thing to proclaim a film for being mid just because you are getting fidgety. Like, I know future bad, attention span bad kind of stuff, but you do need to acknowledge that as someone living in this modern age, with TikTok and the way all of these apps are designed, our attention spans have essentially been defiled. And because of this, films are being discouraged away from making themselves in certain ways, slower ways, more quiet ways. Slow cinema, all of that, is its own valid genre. You should be able to make a movie in any fashion you desire. We're starting to outlaw an entire category of film because we need to meet the demands of our attention spans, which any sane human can agree are totally chaotic and unreasonable. We should not be basing how we create art on the damage that TikTok has done to our brains. And also, finally, when you do crack down on your own attention span and look a bit inward, like, is it the film or is it me? You rule out all of your own biases and start to focus on the more tangible and logistical reasons as to why a film may feel sluggish. More objective reasoning, like maybe a film is repeating the same beats over and over again and not developing anything further. The themes or plot lines aren't being fleshed out, perhaps. It could be that the film doesn't have that much to say or do on said topic and instead just opts to drag the film out. There are actual meaningful observations to be made about how a film flows. Maybe there's an unnecessary scene that doesn't add anything to the overall work and just fucks the pacing. It doesn't tie in thematically and is just an irritating divergence. Overall, this is an important topic to me because I do think that a film should be able to demand a certain level of focus and commitment on the viewer's behalf. Like, they've put this massive thing together and you just need to put a little bit of effort into getting yourself invested. It's almost if like the film were a person, like maybe you do feel a little bored or tired when you're in a conversation with them, but you have an obligation to the person you are speaking with to attempt to properly listen. Everyone deserves a significant amount of attention at first. You can obviously withdraw some of that attention a little bit when they start talking about Jews running Hollywood or Zack Snyder's Justice League being a good film. If the reviewer or critic can point out an actual flaw with how the film is paced or edited, then that's okay. But for people who are overly dismissive of potentially good media just because it doesn't cater to your spoiled and wretched presuppositions of what a film should be, you fuckers need to do some inward thinking and pull a fucking finger out. Turn some of that critique inward on yourself, because it's always healthy. It's just a good mental activity in general. Like, the next time you're watching a film, you sit back and say, why am I bored right now? It's just a very interesting point of study. Like, for instance, sometimes I get bored or disinterested in movies because I'm depressed. Like, literally there's a chemical imbalance happening in my brain. I'm not getting enough dopamine while watching a movie. And that's not the film's fault, is it? And remember to fucking subscribe. All in all, if you think Midsommar is a monotonous drag, then you're probably a bit retarded. Get off the stage, you disgusting fat fuck. 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 Get off the stage, you disgusting fat fuck.